Hello everyone. So today we have Shahira Hadis from other educational consultants in Durian Berhad, who is also the Malaysian team leader for the International Junior Science Olympiad since 2018. So hello Puan Anis, thank you for joining us here in
Hello.
AMISO. So can you tell us a bit about the national selection test for the International Junior Science Olympiad?
Okay. So first, my name is Anis, so you can call me Puan Anis. So for the International Junior Science Olympiad, actually there are three selection process. Okay. The first thing is I will introduce you to the preliminary round for the selection, which is the Kancil Science Competition. Okay. Uh, so Kancil Science Competition, um, we already we already do the competition from 2018. The name is actually we take like Malaysian culture for the Kancil Science Competition to make it more unique, other than compared to other science competition that we held in Malaysia. So our tagline is where culture meets science. So as you can see from the name Kancil, we take the name of an animal that mostly can be found in Malaysia and also Indonesia, but the Kancil is actually famous in the children's stories. If you can remember for the Kancil stories with the crocodile. So Kancil is actually like a cunning animals that and also brave animal, even though it's small in size, but it's actually quite intelligent. From inside the story, the folk story that our mothers told when we were child. Okay, so for the Kancil Science Competition, the syllabus we took from the standard school syllabus that the KPM already listed out. Uh, anyone can join. So this Kancil Science Competition is open for all school students aged 7 until 18 years old. So there are four categories. For the primary, there are two categories. So standard 1 until standard 3 is in one category, alpha category, and then beta is for year 4 and year 6 students. And then for the secondary schools, there are also two categories, gamma categories for the Form 1 until Form 3 students. And for the upper secondary schools is a delta category, uh, Form 4 until Form 6. Or also pre-university students also can join for the Kancil Science competition. So Kancil Science competition, normally we will have the competition in June, July or August. So for this year, the Kancil Science competition is open for registration. The competition will be held in August. So anyone that see this video and you are interested to be a part of the IJSO, you can you can register for the Kancil Science competition first, because that is where we select students for the International Junior Science Olympiad. Okay. So the why I mentioned about culture and also science, because question in Kancil Science competition, we usually will talk about it's actually a normal science question, but we incorporate the cultural Malaysian culture in the question. For example, like this question, uh, apa ni? We tell them about the Sasaran Beach located in the Kuala Selangor. So we talk about the water reflection in the beach. So so actually we want to ask about the regarding the phenomena, what is the physics behind it. Okay, and then we also talk about uh, a snake, branded crate that found in Malaysia. We also, and actually what we want to ask is how does homeostasis occur in the body of snake during hot weather. So like I told earlier, uh, we want to make this competition more unique compared to other science competition. So we ask about also about the culture in Malaysia. Okay. For the country science competition, there are also other activities that we do. For example, we did a route tour. Route tour is when we go to schools and then we promote the competition before the competition deadline is closed. We will go and conduct a free fun science program in the schools, and also we provide training. We will do like classes for science subject, and also we do the competition during the competition day. Okay, this is like example of the science activity that we did at home, at home that we did at school. So this actually the student in the orange shirt is actually looking at a sample of mosquito that we put in a foldable microscope. This foldable microscope is called a foldscope. So so there are so many students that are like the first time they see the foldable microscope. So actually, if you have this microscope, you can just take any sample that you find and then you put inside the microscope and you can see the details of the sample. Okay, so after the road tour and promoting the training, we will do the competition in the schools. Okay, so the teacher that do the registration will they are the one that will invigilate the competition at their school. Okay, so for the from 2018, the participant of Kancil Science Competition, uh, about 9,000 of students registered, and also for the 2019, there are about the same number, but last year for 2021, there are 13,000 students that registered. So the number of participants is actually increasing for the science competition. Okay, so during the pandemic, we offer the competition in online and also offline. So for online competition, students will answer the test in the online competition site. Whereas for the offline competition, we will send the question booklet, like the photo here. We will send the question booklet to the schools, and then the teacher can organize the competition at their school, and then they will send back their answer sheet to us, and then we will do the grading, and then we after like a few months we will do the grading together with the online and also offline. After we grade all the students answer, we will do we will publish the result, and there are top 10% student will receive a medal and also certificate. But the other students, other than the top 10%, also will receive a certificate. So the medal only for the 10% of the top scorer only. Okay. For the MyJSO, MyJSO it stands for the Malaysian Junior Science Olympiad. Okay, the Malaysian Junior Science Olympiad, we take the medalists from Gamma category, because the Malaysian Junior Science Olympiad is actually like a final round of the like a final round of the selection process. So because the IJSO is only for the age limit is only for the 15 years old and below. So we only can take the students from the gamma category. The delta category, the form 4 student, the age limit is already exceeded. So we cannot select from the from the delta category. So we will select from the gamma category only. So all the medalists, not all, but we will take like because it depends on the number of registered students from the gamma category. So if for example, is gamma category, we'll take the top 10%, right? So there will be also like 100 to 150 students that we already selected from 2018 and to also 2019. So the top 100, I can say the top 100 from the gamma category, we will call their teachers and we will tell which student that will be selected, and then their teachers will tell the student, and also they will come to the center that we do the final round. Okay, because the MyJSO is actually a centralized competition. So the country science competition they can do at their school. So the students doesn't need to come to any center. But for the MyJSO, they need to come to the center, the competition center. So last time we do the competition in UTM. So all the winners will meet in one hall, and they will answer the question also in the examination hall. So, but during the pandemic, unfortunately, we did not join the IJSO, so there are also no MyJSO during the pandemic starting from 2020 and 2021. Okay, so the syllabus for the MyJSO, we took question from biology, chemistry, and physics. As you know, like students in standard school, they still not study biology, chemistry, and physics for when they are form three or form one, form two. So actually, they need to like read other materials before they come to the competition. Okay. So the competition, there are three papers that we do. The first one is MCQ paper, and then the theory paper, and also the examination paper. But the examination part, we do like questions in. They don't do experiment during the MyJSO, but they answer question regarding the experiment in on paper. So the competition usually will last one day, from morning until evening, because there are three papers. So the student, after the competition, the teachers will take the student back to their home. Okay, so the reading material for the MyJSO is provided on our website. So students who are selected, they can study beforehand before they come to the competition. Okay. Okay, so this is the students from the MyJSO 2018. There are 100 or 90 students. Okay, this is the competition day during the MyJSO. Okay, and then after we grading all the students' answer during the MyJSO, and then we will select the best 6 students. Okay, this best 6 students, we will give them 2 times of national training camp. So this is a picture during the national training camp. There are 6 students that already selected. So some of them are from like normal school, not like elite school, but there are also students from elite school, and also there are students from like standard school, and also their syllabus also different. Like some students already study IGCSE, like from the private school they study IGCSE, and then some students like study normal KPM standard syllabus. But during the national training camp, there will be three coaches that will teach them. A coach from biology, physics, and chemistry. So the national training camp will be held 1 week. For 1 week, the student will come to our center. Last time we did in UM, the student will stay there for 1 week, and they will study with their coaches. Okay, we did like 2 rounds of uh, national training camp before we go to the IJSO. So in the national training camp, there are also classes and there are also lab. We also teach them what they need to know what they need to know and how to handle laboratory apparatus, and we also try the past year question during the national training camp. They also study like other topic that they want to ask to the coach, they can do at the national training camp. So after we train them, so the 6 winners from IJSO, they will go to the IJSO. So for the IJSO, actually for the fee is actually were paid by Ardent Educational Consultant. The students only need to pay for their flight ticket. There are 2 years that I already went to the IJSO. The first one is the hardest one because as the first year we want to join the IJSO. The IJSO was held in Botswana, um, country besides the South Africa. So I also need to guide these 6 students. They are actually minor because they are 15 years old. So we need to pass 2 other countries before we can go to Botswana, because there are no direct flight to Botswana. So we need to go to Singapore first, and then uh, check in, check out, and then check in again to go to South Africa, and then check out and check in again to go the domestic flight between South Africa and Botswana. So that is quite challenging, but the students all the 6 students that went there is I can say like they are very uh, quite good manners, because no whining, and also they also like uh, can follow whatever instruction that we given them. Okay, for the syllabus for the IJSO, they will touch also about biology, chemistry, and physics. So the event will be like 10 to 12 days. Okay, so for the IJSO, there are 3 tests that students need to do. The first one is the MCQ test. There are 30 questions, so 30 points for the MCQ test. They need to answer them in 4 hours. For the International Junior Science Olympiad, basically when we reach the country, and then the local organizing um, secretariat will separate the leader and also the student. Okay, the reason is because the leader is actually involved in the question discussion. So the leader is actually know the question before the students can answer them the next day. So they will separate the leader and also the student. We cannot contact. They will take the phone of the student, and also student will be put in a different hotel compared to the leaders. So when we reach the country, the local secretariat take student to another bus and leader to another bus, and then leader will straightly go to the hall, and then we will discuss the question on the day one and day two in the hotel. So after the student the next day after arriving is actually their tour day. So they will the secretariat will bring them to tour. So if you join if you were selected for the IJSO, you are not only like go there and answer question. You are actually touring also because there are so many students activities that they organize. So student will have their tour first, and then leader will discuss question first. So when the student do when the examination day, the day three, the examination day for a student, and then leader we go to tour. So it's like that, like uh, different tentative for leader and also for students. But the exam, it will take part like one day exam, the next day tour, and the next day exam again. So MCQ test, and then after MCQ test, the next day, you will relax and go tour, and then the next day you will do the theory test. Okay, theory test, there are six questions. Usually there are two biology, two physics, and two chemistry questions. So total point for the theory test is 30 points. So there are 4 hours of examination. Okay, and then for the experiment part, also in the different day. So after the theory test, you go to tour, and then after tour, the next day you do the experiment test. Okay, for the experiment test, there are one experiment for each topic. So one for biology, one for physics, and one for chemistry. Okay, for the MCQ and theory test, you actually it's an individual test. So you need to answer individually. But for the experiment, you will be grouped three students per team. So if there are 6 students, there will be 2 teams. So actually during the experiment, uh, there are 40 points. The total points also will be conducted for hours, but your mark will be the same for all the 3 students. So actually this is like a team test. So if you can work well with a team, you might get a higher point. But if you are not work very well with other students, you might get higher individual point, but you get lower experiment or team point. So it is quite important for you to have like both, not only you are genius in science, but also you can work with other people. Okay, so for the 2 years that Malaysia joined the International Junior Science Olympiad, we already um, won one bronze medal during the 2018 IJSO that were held in Botswana, and also we won uh, one silver and also 5 bronze medal for the IJSO 2019 in Qatar. So the first year because maybe it's the first year for us to organize it. So the second year actually we improve a lot of things. Um, we find like we do the more strict during the national training camp. We do like more harder tests for them during the training camp and also IJSO. And then for the second year of participating in IJSO, all the students, the 6 students that we bring, all can won at least medal for themselves. Okay, so it's quite achievement for Malaysia. Okay, so this is the bronze medalist, Yi Jiajie, during the IJSO 2018. Okay, and then this is the team photo. So the every country there will be one person from the local organizing committee will always attend us, like like this person in the middle here. She will take care of us during our stay in Botswana. But actually she more like taking care of the students compared to the leader. Okay. So for the IJSO 2019, the silver medalist Chin Jia Yao, and also 5 students for the bronze medalist. So actually we didn't expect like everyone will won the medal, because when we look at uh, the score, because leader also we also uh, involved in the question marking. Not we involved in we are not the one that mark the students answer, but after the local organizing committee mark, we can recheck, and mm, there will be a session for us to meet the committee, and uh, like defend our students' answer. So uh, we also need to uh, like confirm the score. The all the score for a student is actually quite different, because some student that we expect to get higher, maybe he get lower during the team mark. So some student also like we doesn't expect him to be uh, the can get the highest mark, but he did it. So like all of these all the score is actually depends to the student. It's not depend on their marks during MyJSO or Kancil, but it actually depends on their effort after after the majeso, and also their effort during the training camp, how focused they are when the coaches teach them about how to use the apparatus, and also during the uh, team team test, the experiment test, it tests you how can you be careful in the laboratory, and can you avoid mistakes, because uh, all that will give you marks or deduct your marks. So it's actually quite important for them to, it's actually depends on their effort, uh, how they want to win in this competition. Okay, so we were brought to tour around Qatar during the IJSO 2019. So we met Camel, and then okay, oh sorry.
Is that the end of the slides, Puan Anis?
Yeah, I think that is the end of the slide.
All right, thank you, Puan
Okay.
Anis. So yeah, we got a few questions for you. That's a very
Yeah.
interesting presentation, very insightful and very informative. I think a lot of students have all the answers they need, but not me. I still have a few questions.
Okay.
So you just show the photo of the camel, like
Yeah.
how when you go to IJSO, there's excursions. That is not only a test, but it's also a experience for the students to learn about the country and
Yeah.
then meet new friends. And I think this is like a trip in the country, right?
Yeah.
All of this is covered by the organizers and Ardent. So students don't need to pay anything for the food, for the accommodation, for the
Yeah.
travel inside the host country? No.
No, but only they will pay only for their flight ticket.
Okay. Yeah.
Because flight tickets sometimes it depends on the country. If you go to a country that is so far away, the flight ticket amount also will be bigger. So
Yeah.
for the flight ticket only, you will need to pay for the flight ticket only. But for the transportation during the from our national training camp
Mm.
to the airport, and then at the airport your food, what you want to eat, and then after you reach the country, all your food, all the food, the transportation, logistic, or everything else is covered by the Ardent and also the local organizing committee.
That's very good. I think our national team for IJSO has been taken very well by other education.
Yeah.
But I think that even if the students out there is worried about the cost of the flight tickets, they can
Yeah.
maybe find sponsors out there that are willing to put.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. Some student also got sponsor from the but they need to find it themselves. Like the parents need to do their own contact, and also maybe some student also were sponsored by the schools.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on the teacher and parents, and also for the 2 years that we joined, there are no students that cannot go to the international because luckily there are so many people that will help you. Maybe like your schools will help you, or maybe your parents, or maybe your the parents can ask uh, from their uh,
Friends.
yeah, their
Yeah.
friends like that.
That's great. I think that one message we have for all the potential contestants in IJSO out there is that if you are Malaysian and you are successful in the Malaysian team, and if you even if you reach out to a lot of people for sponsors, you can still reach out to us, the Alumni Society for the Olympiads, and we will try to match you up with a sponsor as well. Okay, so thank you, Puan Anis. And then I have another question. It's about the national coaches. So you mentioned that at the national camp, there's a coach for biology, a coach for chemistry, and a coach for physics. So where is the national camp held, and who are these national coaches? Are they graduate students or lecturers in a university, or are they teachers?
Okay. For the national training camp, for the coaches, the venue for the 2 years we do the at UM. So me actually graduate from UM, so I know quite uh, a few people that still pursuing their master or PhD in UM, and also I will contact them and ask them if they are interested to be the coach. But they must be like maybe a PhD student, or a teacher in schools, or they are lecturers. But usually lecturers are quite busy. So because the camp itself will be held during the working days. So for the 2 years we cannot get a lecturer, but if we can get a lecturer, actually is very good for the student. But unfortunately we cannot. So we can get like PhD students. For example, during 2018, all the three trainers actually from PhD. So they are doing the PhD in UM. So actually they brought them to their lab. So because they are the students in that department, so it's easy for us to ask the dean to give permission for the students to use the lab in the faculty, because the coaches also from that department, so it was easier for us to use the lab inside UM. So for the second year, we don't get the PhD, like we got, but not all three of the coaches is from UM. We got one coaches is a teacher, a chemistry teacher in private school. So we actually ran a laboratory in Pasung, Pusat Asasi Sains. So we ran the lab there. The coach can use the classroom and also can use the lab in Pasum UM. So the reason we choose UM is actually because we know the places, and also there are also college that are so near uh, with the classroom, so the students can not really need like a car to go to class, from hotel to class. So we did the yeah, the camp inside UM, so it will be safer for the student.
That's great. Thank you, Anis. I think a lot of students will want to get this experience in getting training in University
Yeah,
Malaya, which is the best university in Malaysia, and also learning from all these PhD candidates
yeah,
and like these lecturers or like potential lecturers in the future,
yeah,
and it's like the best people in the field. So yeah, I think a lot of people will want to join. I mean, you just need to be the top
yeah.
10% in
In
IJS.
gamma category. So if you are 13 to 15 years old this year, you must join the country science competition gamma category, and then you must do your exam well and be the top 10% or top 100 students in gamma category, and we will invite you for the MyJSO.
All right, that's great. Okay, I have one final question for you. It's about the experiment round in the International Junior Science Olympiad. So you mentioned that the experiment is the only round that is team-based,
Yeah.
correct? So how is this team formed? Is it an international team or is it formed by country? Like, is all the Malaysians in the same team? And then after the team round, does everyone get the same score, or how does it work?
Okay, because every country will send 6 students. The maximum is 6. The minimum is 3. The reason is because the experiment part, the 6 students will be divided into 2 groups, while the 3 students will divide. They will have one group for the experiment. So there are no mixing countries during the team. The Malaysian team will do the experiment with Malaysian team. But for the division of the students, the 6 students, the division we will do by the coaches, Malaysian coaches, and also us, me and my partner. We will see like which student is actually quite focused, or do when during the national training camp, we will observe them, and we will see like which one is more can do more procedure correctly, and which one is weak, but we will mix. We are not going to have like one weak group or one strong group, because we want them all to help each other, because only at the experiment part you can help each other. So the strong student will combine with more weaker student during the experiment, so that they can help each other. So sometimes there are also students that because it's a team uh, team 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 experiment, so you need to have a good communication among you. So if you want to do something, you need to communicate with the other 2 students. So if you do the experiment on yourself, you did not tell other student, but and then it will affect your group mark. So
That's great.
the mark will be the same for all the three students.
Thank you, Paul Anis. I think it's a very good strategy on how Ardent Educational split the two teams, because you can see like in 2019 everyone got a medal, and
Yeah,
it's very beautiful to see that all these Malaysians, like I see there's a Malay, there's a I think Chinese, and also is it East Malaysian in
yeah.
the
Sabah Sarawak
yeah,
students. Yeah,
I think it's, yeah, very beautiful to see all the Malaysians working together and everyone achieve a good result
mhm.
in the competition. So yeah, thank you, Paul Anis. That's all the questions I have. Do you have anything else to add about the Junior Science Olympiad?
No.
All right.
But if you have any question, you can always ask me.
Yes. We will post a link to the website of
Yeah,
the Malaysian Junior Science Olympiad and the Kancil Science Competition down in the description. Okay. And yeah, so all the students out there, if you maybe in the
yeah,
future you want to join the Junior
yeah.
Science Olympiad, you want to travel in a country that you never traveled before, you can just join the Country Science competition.
Yes.
Thank you, Puan Anis, for coming to this interview. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.